what's up, dudes? Hello, everybody. It is New Comic Book Day. We are back, and I say we so proudly. We've added a face to the crowd, but not by any means a mysterious face. Moneybags has been a friend of the show for, well, since the beginning, just as long as I'd say Ryan here. So, dudes, welcome. I'm so glad we could get this together in three-way and
Absolutely, man. What's going on, everybody? How we all doing?
Oh man, I'm fucking pumped to talk comics, guys. Like, I want to show you all the books I got, but I have to do it in layers. That's one layer. This is the next layer, and then this is another layer, and then hold on. And I got my catalogs, and then all my all the duplicates. Whoa, shit! All the duplicates. Like, I got a lot of stuff today, guys. I got a lot of stuff today. It was an exciting day. It was an expensive day. But don't worry, we're not going to be talking about every one of these. I have somehow narrowed it down to 10. But yeah, I don't know, man. How was your guys' New Comic Book Day? How was your guys' week?
The week's been pretty good. New Comic Book Day, the only thing I've actually read so far is Eat the Rich #2. But impressive. I really enjoyed it.
Dude, yeah, no, I can't wait to talk more about that for sure. That was, yeah, there's so much to say about that, really. Moneybags, how was your new comic? I know today's like how was wrestling? How was recording? How was work? How was the 4 hours of sleep that you probably didn't actually get? How was life today, dude?
All I gotta say is thank God for coffee and adrenaline and just working. Because today is a long day. We just finished up the ODPH podcast, where you can find on any podcast provider. Yes, the latest episode is out right now. So my week is almost, like, I would say, basically done. But it was a lot of fun. Obviously, live tweeting tonight. All Elite Wrestling had a monster card coming from the Arthur Ashe Stadium down in New York. So I had a lot of interaction with a lot of our pod friends and listeners. So that was pretty cool. And it's New Comic Book Day, so got to do some new Parlay Points blogs, which I'm excited to talk about those books. Eat the Rich, I didn't get a chance to write, but damn, amazing.
Oh, so we all got to read that? Oh, shit. Hell yeah. No, this is gonna be fun.
Yes.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, and then just, we're getting ready for the ODPH. It's heading down to New York Comic Con, so it's doing a lot of signing up for panels and hopefully, fingers crossed, to get some interviews and such. And, all that little fun jazz that comes with con season.
Yeah, the little fun jazz, the little you downplay what you're doing here, dude. Like you're press at New York Comic Con. There's amazing creators out there that I saw get denied tables, and I mean, you get a press badge, and I don't know, man. Like you just kill it over there at the ODPH. So if anybody if you listen to my podcast, you hear me talk about ODPH and all the praise that I give there. But if you're new to the podcast or whatever, and this is your first time streaming in, then seriously, this guy, I don't know how to do arrows.
I was going to say, it should be this guy and this guy too, if I can point the right direction, because
there we go.
No, I seriously appreciate all the kind words. Like the whole team, it's a team effort. I wish I could take sole credit, but honestly, no. Padawan Jay busts doing production work and really hyping. And this year we're taking Rich from 3FN down with us too. And our guy, Dre Driven, is going to be there as well. So we have like a whole team lined up. And, it's just been all the work that we've been doing. It's paying off. And, we're just thankful everybody gives us a listen. And, here we are now.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, it is New Comic Book Day, so there's so much to talk about. I want to get into the speculation right off the bat, though, because if you were to go to Key Collector, you're just gonna scroll and scroll and scroll. It's a big long list on Key Collector this week, but I don't know. I think there's some definite potential for sure. So I want to start out with the book that I went heaviest on. I picked up 5 or 6 copies of the King Shark. Because there's like 6 first appearances in it. If anything, I think there's more than that, the way I counted it, but it's all at the end of the issue. And it's I don't know, there's some potential there. And even if they killed 5 of them, there's potential for one of them to do something. So I'm hoping for like that Strange Academy type of, I don't know. We'll see though. It's not really doing anything on eBay yet, but like I said, almost everything DC is just a long-term hope that Discovery turns their fucking their shit around so that people could actually speculate on DC with some confidence. But I don't know, man. And plus, it's King Shark. Num Num. Fucking Stallone killed it with this character. So I mean, there's gonna be people wanting to know more about what the hell King Shark's about. And I'll get into more of this for sure because it's one of the 10 books that I narrowed my stack down to this week. But I don't know. I think King Shark's a good bet. Another DC book was Aquaman: The Becoming. First appearance of the Deluge. I don't know.
Deluge.
But I'm not sure. I don't really read Aquaman, but I picked up a copy just in case. I'm gonna stash it away, and you never know. I don't think it's a terrible bet with the discount and everything I get for pre-ordering. It's like a $2.60 investment, so I'll take it for a first appearance. Who knows? Batman 113 had the first appearance of Peacekeeper X. These the Peacekeeper appearances, you take them for what they are. We'll know more later. I picked up a couple copies, but not really holding my breath on Peacekeeper X so much. And then Flash 774. Do you guys read Flash at all? I know that Moneybags, you're kind of a Flash fan.
I am a Flash fan. I haven't been able to keep up lately with it, but I always try jumping in, going for a big run, no pun intended.
Gotcha.
I just kind of take a break and then I'll just read about 6 in a row and then I'll go back and just kind of juggle it around a little bit. Just because I in the comics, it's kind of very hit or miss with me with Flash. I like it when it's really good, with Godspeed. I really am a big fan of that character. So it's just kind of when they dip that with a good mix of the Rogues Gallery, but some of the newer villains, I'm not really that much into.
Gotcha. Well, with this, there's a Dr. Nightmare. Ryan, you say you read Flash?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I will say Jeremy Adams' run here, it took a while to warm up, but the last couple of issues have been pretty good. But I am 2 issues behind, so I don't know exactly where they're at right now.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about adding another character to the Flash Rogues Gallery, like Dr. Knight? I mean, the name sounds kind of cool, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're only a couple issues behind. Is this something? I mean, does it have potential here? Or is this another Flash? You think? I
don't
Sorry.
know. I mean, not in the same sense as Spider-Man or Batman, but the Flash does have a pretty iconic Rogues Gallery for fans of the character, and so I guess there's always opportunity to add somebody new, but we'll see how long it lasts.
Gotcha.
Typically these characters that have a really solid Rogues Gallery already, everything new that comes along just kind of shows up and fades away over time.
Yeah, no, I get you there for sure. Seriously, DC's really trying super hard to sell a shit ton of books this week. Another one with speculation potential was Batman Adventure Continues Season 2. We got the first appearance of the Muscle on here. By the way, I mean, shout out to the Rob Guillory cover on that. I mean,
yeah, how badass is that,
dude? But I guess Rob Guillory actually had a hand in designing the Muscle, the character. So that's, I don't know, that gives me hope for this character. And I mean, the Batman Adventures stuff, I mean, we saw kind of what happened with Sonny. It took 3 or 4 months for that issue 2 of the first run of this to pop off, but all of a sudden, first appearance of Sonny, Deathstroke's protege, which I thought was kind of a no-brainer, it started ramping up. And I think a character like this, especially like I said, with Rob Guillory having some of a take with the design process in this, I think that's probably one of the better DC bets this week beyond the King Shark.
Absolutely.
That's just my take on that. Was there any more DC stuff? Whatever. Even if there is, I'm over that. So much. There's a lot of reprints that came out this week, but I think if I had to pick one reprint, it's probably going to be the Defender's second printing. The Omnimax, and I don't know, man. There's a lot of, a few first appearances that happens within this. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be kind of a low key sleeper book, but once Omnimax and all this stuff is developed as a character, and if it turns out to be as badass as it should be, I believe that's tied to Galactus. So yeah. I mean, it should be pretty badass. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I think that's a good reprint to pick up, though. Shit, what? There's so much. United States of Captain America. They've been doing all of these new types of versions of Cap. This is the Filipino version. Ari Agbayani, I think is how you would say that. So I mean, take it for what it is. What they do with all these characters, who knows? But they're representing, and I could see them easily one day doing season 3 of What If and bringing all of these. I don't know. I think they wouldn't be making them and developing for nothing. I don't think it's complete pandering, but I don't know. It could just be pandering too. Who knows? It's Marvel. It's Disney.
Yeah. I don't think they're doing that. I think you're seeing a lot more Marvel characters pop up because in my unofficial ODPH guess, I think they're trying to load up the deck for the next wave of some of the MCU projects.
Yeah,
because Marvel has finally gotten away because for a lot of years they were a movie company making comic books instead of being a comic book company making movies. But now it seems like they've shifted since CB Cebulski took over as EIC. So with that being said, I think that you're seeing a lot more creators trying to push in the envelope a little bit more to get new characters involved. So then on a show like a What If, or one that's not as high stakes as like the next Avengers movie or whatever interpretations could be, it's a low risk, high reward that they can try a throwaway character, if you will, and then take a shot. And then if it clicks, like for example, Cosmic Ghost Rider,
right, then
it can pop off, and then everybody goes crazy over it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's just a lot of what's going on between the big two right now, and I keep using the analogy of just throwing a pot of spaghetti at the wall and seeing what noodles stick. Yeah. And I really think they're kind of doing the same thing with this Captain America thing. I think it might be another thing. It might be a little bit of pandering, but at the same time, I do think that they have some sort of a business technique behind this, just like you said. I'm right behind you, Moneybags. Yeah. I really think that they're setting some shit up for sure.
Yeah, I think it becomes important because the MCU is based on like a lot of legendary stuff, a lot of these older characters and older storylines. And the inevitable problem they're going to run into is like, if you're building off of things that already exist that came out in like the 60s and 70s and 80s and have like these long legacies, you run into the issue of diversity, which is a huge push in Hollywood right now. And so what happens because basically if you just start taking characters and race and gender swapping them, then you're going to get called out for race and gender swapping everything. So I think they are kind of like test betting because we're going to need new characters that represent like this new world, and Hollywood, they can't take the same gamble as comics. Like they got to make a lot of money in order to make any money, so it's important to them that they do have these characters to draw upon. And so I kind of see it as a test bed. Like we're going to just kind of put everything out there and let's see what people react to. And then we'll kind of run with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm 100% with you on that. It's I don't know. We're playing the long game when it comes to speculating at this point. There's so few situations where it just pops off immediately. There is one book this week, and that's Moon Knight #3. This is one that I said it. I can't take full credit for this. I initially during Pull List Priorities, I said I don't think this is going to be the issue where Hunter's Moon pops up. But on this last episode, I corrected myself and said make sure you get that fucking incentive variant. Because the incentive variant is already selling for I believe $50 or $60, and the A cover of Moon Knight is selling for already like $12, I think. So wow. I mean, yeah, it's a quick flip, but here's where I am on this. People have Moon Knight fever right now. They're super excited. And I'll get more into detail when I talk about this because it's one of my 10 picks for the week. But once they read the issue, they're gonna tank. So it's a quick sell now. Hold it because the character. I mean, I'm trying not to spoil shit. He will come back, but he was. Well, I'll get more into it, but because of that, once more people read it, I think that these prices, this $12 spike, I don't think it's going to go much higher than that once the storyline gets out. And yeah, he's not as badass as as we might think. But like I said, I'll talk about that here shortly. But in the meantime, if you did get this book and you want to make a few extra bucks, then fucking dump it now. Before everybody listens to this stream and realizes. There were a couple other ones too. X-Men Legends #7. I had a couple of first appearances. I didn't get to open it up and confirm how cool these characters may or may not be, but Jai Jai and Hino Chan, I don't know. Add them to the list of mutants, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's one big sleeper this week that nobody's talking about. It's not on Key Collector, and it's something really cool happens in this. Something really, really cool happens in Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads. And I'm going to pop this open real quick because this isn't one of my 10 picks. So, I don't want to call it spoilers because it's in the first couple of pages. But Bruce Banner, he gets a hold of him. He gets himself a Norn Stone.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. And that's what Bruce Banner looks like right now, guys. And he goes by Brian, I guess, which is weird. But,
well, it's better than Batman Who Laughs.
Well, yeah, no, that's such it's a way better name.
Yeah.
Brian is such a better name than Batman Who Laughs. But no, nobody's talking about this because not enough speculators don't fucking read the comics; they just watch eBay.
Right.
But I'm different. So yes, no, I got a hot tip ahead of time on this, so I picked up 3 or 4 copies. But yeah, no, what they do with this character will be determined in the next issue because Spider-Man and old Hulky Poo's gonna team up, and it's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be damn cool. But the fact that Hulk has new powers now, I think that's probably just as cool as an immortal Hulk popping up. I think this issue is gonna have just as much value as that. I mean, Immortal Hulk was just, Hulk can't die. Well, we're going to find out Hulk can die. I'm thinking issue 50 of Immortal Hulk.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, I don't know. I think there's something to this here. I do. So that's my sleeper pick of the week. It's not doing anything on eBay yet, but like I said, that's because people haven't read their comics yet. They're still fresh off the shelves, and a lot of them haven't even been bagged and boarded yet. So I don't know. But that's the one. If you see it on the shelf, pick up a copy. I think it'll pay off down the road. I think that's all I have for spec this. That's all. There's so much, man. This was a speculator's wet dream week for sure, but also a nightmare for any wallet and budget. So yeah, take it for what you will. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to talk about fucking comics this week. Like I want to there's some good stuff. Brian, what did you get around to reading anything this week, man?
The only thing I actually got around to reading was Eat the Rich. So.
Well, since we all read Eat the Rich, let's talk about Eat the Rich because this is. Let's give credit where credit's due first. Was it Sarah Gailey, P.S. Bach, and Roman Titov? I'm probably saying all of those names wrong in one syllable or the other throughout all of those, but. Apologies. Fact is, these people can write a goddamn comic. I know the first issue was very polarizing. There's some people saying this sucked, the hype was not real on this, and then there's other people saying that this is amazing. I can't wait till the second issue. But then there's people down the middle going, second issue is going to determine how I feel about this series. Well, I was one of those people in the middle saying the second issue is going to determine how I feel about this series. And I've made my decision. I feel good about it. Where are you guys at with this? Where were you on this?
I was in the middle with you as well. Like I covered this for Parlay Points, and I was like, I'm intrigued. I thought it was a very interesting take for the first issue. I did not see the end coming. I was like, okay, well, this kind of gives me Lost Boys vibes from the old 80s movie. But then like the second issue, I was like, okay, I see what we're doing here. I'm here. Like it's one of those, they can hit you. I liked it that they didn't hit so much in the first issue. I mean, they gave you enough, and the cliffhanger ending was enough, but it wasn't so much a overhand right. It was just a simple jab, but the jab that stuck. Like that's the easiest way I could describe it. So the second issue, I think, just was the combo piece to it.
Yeah, no, it's continuous punches throughout this entire issue.
yeah.
It develops this character that we weren't sure if we even liked in the first issue, into a character that we kind of start to I don't know if empathize is the word, sympathize maybe, but you start to understand the stupid fucking decisions that she's making. Like, I don't know. Where were you at on this, Ryan?
Yeah, the first issue, like my take on the first issue was that there's a lot of like comics right now, especially like these miniseries. They come out and the first book just like builds and builds and builds, and they use the high concept as the hook for the first book. And so once they reveal that, the rest of the series is kind of downhill. Like they basically blow their wad at the end of the first issue, you know? And what I loved about the first issue of this series was that it was like this real slow simmer, you know? Like they didn't give us too much. They didn't really like blow me away, but they hooked me with interest just enough, you know?
Yeah.
But the one thing I thought the first issue was missing was like the message. What is this really all about? Like, what is the message behind this book? I feel like they didn't give us that in the first issue. And to me, like this issue just like straight up gave us the message. Like it told us, you know, this is what this book is about. And to me, like it kind of comes down to an exploration of how, you know, there's different lives, there's different worlds in these different societies, you know. The whole time I was reading it, I couldn't help but think about oh man, what's that guy's name? The one that died in prison after he got found out for messing with all those little girls.
Oh yeah. Well, no, the island diddler. Shit.
Yeah. He had the filthy rich thing on
Netflix. Hey, we don't remember his name. We win. You know, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
we know who we're talking about. His name needs to die. But just the guy that's all
being,
weird.
Though, this guy, like, he died with $400 million. But if you watch the documentary and stuff, like the life he lived was completely different from the life that any normal person lives, you know? And I feel like that's kind of what this book explores, is like this idea that like the wealthy live in a completely different world. Like the way that they function and operate in the world and in society is completely different from us. And so I feel like that was kind of the message that this book is delivering, is like, these are not the same two worlds, even though we're all people on the same planet, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that take on that for sure. I mean, I got so much from this one issue, man. It's just the levels of emotion that you experience throughout this, when, you know, you realize that, no, these people aren't, they're being cannibalized. And I guess we're going to there might be some spoilery talk in this a little bit, but the people that are being cannibalized aren't necessarily victims. Like they sign up for this shit, and like it changes her whole perspective on everything. Like, do I really need to escape? Or I mean, I don't know. There's just it was intense throughout all of this, you know. But the whole time you're thinking, bitch, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. Like, what are you doing?
But it's like a true horror movie. Like,
yes,
you
exactly.
know you should leave, get the hell out of there, but yet you're sticking around because why? You want to try figuring out the mystery yourself, which is problem number one in every single horror movie. Yeah. So you know what? If you go fully deep into the water, hey, whatever happens, happens.
Well, see, but at the same, like it was so much more than I want to figure this out. Because at first it is, I just need to get the fuck out of here. But then, like, the reason she doesn't, they all make so much sense, because she's trying to wake up her boyfriend and he's all on Klonopin and shit. And, you know, when he's not understanding, we need to get out of here. You know, sorry, my dad drinks too much. He probably said something. He'll make it right in the morning. And then, you know, that right then and there, she should have been like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Yeah. But, you know, she has in her head, well, fuck, maybe he doesn't know what's going on here. I don't want him to be a victim of this. He's all drugged up. Maybe in the morning I can get him out of this. In the meantime, I need to go find some fucking evidence. So I'm going to go snooping through the house. You dumb, stupid bitch. But then doing so, she you know, it comes out that, yeah, she gets caught by the housekeeper. Housekeeper says, oh yeah, no, we know exactly what's going on here. But if it wasn't for all this, like, my life would be super shitty, because I'd be dead. Because, you know, I get all this super dope health care, and I get to live a life that I would have never experienced as a poor person before. And yeah, like, this is just the price I pay. Like, I would be dead anyway. So let them keep me alive as long as they can, and then eat me when I retire. You know, that's some morbid shit. But at the same time, you like start to think like, fuck, are these guys kind of like, yeah, they're sick psychopathic assholes, but they're not terrible. You know, it's I don't know. I mean, that sounds fucking weird to say, but they're not. I mean, they're still making people pawns in their little game. There's no doubt about that.
There's method to the madness. That's the bottom line with this book.
Right. I mean, it's a there's a payoff to these people. They're not just victims. You know, they're getting something out of it. But I don't know. And like I said, it's really deep, and I can't imagine where it goes from here, especially with the whole she got caught, now it's time to get introduced ending there. So I don't know, man. I will say one thing though. I said the issue 2 is gonna solidify whether or not this stays on my pull list, and I'm 100% into this, dudes. Like this is this is good stuff. What else did we read this week? You read XO.
Yes,
dude. Okay,
XO Man of War.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting to read some XO. It's in my stack here.
Seriously, the story that Hopeless is creating here, without going too spoilery, I really like the take on it, because with XO, like that is Valiant's Superman, like that's their guy. That's and
my dude.
Oh yeah, like I mean, he's up there like for old school fans like me, because I mean I remember like the early Valiant days. And to see like the evolution of the character, like I think the take they're doing right now with what's going on with his armor and how he's dealing with it, and the big kind of cliffhanger ending they give now is just it kind of redefines their relationship. Yeah, and I really because he is so reliant on that armor and kind of vice versa to balance out, that I think that with him now finally figuring out like something is wrong, and how he's going to try dealing with it, and the fact that he might not be able to recover it, at least that's the way I'm taking it, I think is just an interesting play on it.
Nice. No, I'm a big fan of XO. I can't wait to get into the rest of my stack here. I mean, all this right here is the rest of what's left to read outside of the 10 books that I pulled out of here for the stream tonight. And I don't know. I've been an XO fan. I've been a Valiant fan for sure. So this is good stuff, man. Dennis Hopeless, when I saw that his name was penning his character, it was just perfection for me. And he's been killing it too. He's been living up to his name. So I dig it, man.
And I can't tell people enough, Harbinger, make sure you get those books ordered. That thing is looking fantastic.
Nice, man. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I want to check that one out for sure.
So good.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. See, I get all these early review chances from Valiant, but I never open it because I like to read them on Wednesday. Like I'm a fucking idiot, dude. I get all these goddamn privileges, and I just But I don't know. I'll check it out, man. You have me excited for sure.
Yeah, because I believe the cutoff date to order is coming up very soon. So I am, like I said, when I saw it was Robbie Rodriguez doing the artwork, I was like, okay. And then I opened it and I was like, whoa, what is this? And like I said, I'm sold. Like I'm definitely heading down to the comic shop that day.
Yeah, Robbie Rodriguez did the art for one of the books that I read this week. He did Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Nightwing 84. You guys been reading Nightwing at all? The best book at DC. When did you think 7 issues ago of Nightwing we'd be talking about how Nightwing is the best book at DC? I mean, I knew I would, because I've loved all million issues of this. Like I have the entire Nightwing run. I've read it all. I've enjoyed it all. Yeah, some stuff better than others, but oh fuck, I'm so happy to say, fuck yeah, I told you Nightwing's the best shit out there. And
the minute Tom Taylor signed his name, like done. Like, just stamp approval, give him the gold medal, it's done.
Yep, it's over. Anything this man does is solid gold. The fact that Injustice is being turned into an animated movie now, like that's so fucking good.
Yeah,
that's so good. That's so good. That's the only video game I even play. Like that's just if I play a video game, it's Injustice. It's just god damn, man. Anything that man's tied to is solid gold. Yeah. Nightwing, this is we're gonna get a 3-issue arc and tying into Fear State, and that's really what this issue is setting up. It's Dick saying, all right, Bloodhaven, I'll see you around for a second. I gotta head into Gotham and take care of some shit and team up with Batgirl and fuck up this anti-Oracle and see what that's all about. And yeah, so I'm anxious to see what the next 2 issues do. You know, I feel like it's kind of a filler arc within the Nightwing, within what Tom Taylor is actually doing, but you can't not involve Nightwing and Fear State. So it makes sense for him to just kind of veer off for a second. You know, bring in Robbie Rodriguez to do a few issues, give Bruno Redondo a fucking break because the dude's a monster.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It was Nightwing this week, guys. It was amazing. You know, it was nothing revolutionary, but at the same time, Tom Taylor doesn't need to be revolutionary to spark emotion and angst and he's a genius. He's a genius.
Yeah, he just needs to be Tom Taylor. Like even like the filler episodes are still amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not complaining about.
Oh yeah, I know you weren't. But it's just like for anyone that's not familiar with him, even like the quote unquote fill-in issues are still bangers.
Yeah. No, my one of my favorite single issues of all time is a filler issue, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 6. Like I still can't get the fucking damp spot out of that book from the eye leakage and shit. Like the dude, he knows how to do it, man. And that was with a filler issue. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing what the man's capable of. I want to talk about King Shark. This was a fun read, as I expected it to be. It was goofy, as I expected it to be. It starts out with shit, what's her name? I wrote it down here. Stupid fucking Defacer. That's what it is. She has no powers. She spray paints shit. Well, she gets caught up, locked up for drawing a dick on a dick statue. And so Waller, she realizes that for whatever reason, King Shark in prison has taken a shine to her. So she sends her on a mission with him. I don't really know what the mission was. It's irrelevant because King Shark's like, shark. Yeah. He's got something else to do. He's beckoned. He's called upon to take place in this tournament. And they describe this tournament as Mortal Kombat for furries. To give you any idea of how fucking silly this shit is. But not in a, like, this is ridiculous type of way to where it's not worth reading. I'm 100% invested in this now. Like, I wasn't sure until this portal opened up and they get into this arena, and that's where we get Queen Tiger and Prince Roach and all these other goofy characters. We find out that King Shark is royalty, but it's not like royalty in the sense that you would imagine. He's a part of this other like type of royal family that essentially just kicks the shit out of each other once every so many years, and that's what we're setting up here. We're setting up this arc, and and then I don't know. It's I enjoyed it actually. I think I mean I don't know where these characters are gonna go. I mean I don't. It's a tournament. I imagine in a Suicide Squad book, a lot of them are gonna get their fucking legs ripped off. But I'm 100% on board with that. I mean that's what I sign up for in a Suicide Squad book, especially with a bunch of new characters that I'm not invested in yet. But I do expect one of these characters to kind of rise to the top here and continue their way into the Suicide Squad mythos. Like I could see, I don't know. I think there's potential with this series for sure on a lot of levels. I don't know. You guys even reading Suicide Squad right now? I know you are, Ryan.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of the best titles they're putting out, man.
I think
it's really good. Yeah,
it's I'm right there with you with neck and neck with Nightwing, I think. And who would have thought Suicide Squad and Nightwing? We're not talking about Batman. We're not talking about Superman. I mean, we might be talking about Superman now. It's son of Kal-El since Tom Taylor's writing that now. But once again, it's just there's a pattern here, people. Phenomenal. There's a pattern.
I think that one is slightly hindered by by continuity. Like I think that and Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman have both been really good to me. The only problem is when you have that interplay between Taylor's Kent versus like Clark over here in Superman.
Oh, in action, Superman's not gone?
Nuh-uh.
That's fucking weird. Huh. Yeah, no, that'd be confusing. That'd be really confusing. Huh.
I mean, it's not that confusing, but
But I mean, for a new reader coming on, they're like, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not
I
reading
mean, what
action,
they're doing in
unfortunately.
action with Clark is like Clark is going like away from Earth. He's going to work on like things bigger than us, you know. So
Okay,
that's
well,
kind
so
of how
that's
they're reconciling that. Is like
okay.
Jonathan is going to be the Superman of Earth, and he's going to come into his own, whereas Clark is like dealing with some ancient
All right.
Kryptonian stuff.
So they are tying it in well enough then. All right. That
Mhm.
makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, but like, you had that conversation with Clark on the moon, where Clark basically is like, well, this wasn't my planet, so I couldn't go to the same lengths that you would. And it's like, that's a little bit weak for Superman. Like, come on, dude, you could do better. So to me, that's the one like pitfall is like having Jonathan have to answer to Clark at times. It makes it very difficult to do the Superman thing because it's like, that's a little bit weak. But overall, like what Taylor is doing with Jonathan and with Son of Kal-El, like I love it. I think it's a great book. I think he's doing a great job writing a new Superman.
Well, yeah, man. I agree. What else? I think that's all I read from oh no, I read the other DC book I picked out this week was Batman Secret Files Miracle Molly. Like this is a character that I'm intrigued with. Are you guys been following the Batman stuff at all? Like Miracle Molly and the Unsanity Collective and all that?
No, I gotta admit, I've been missing that.
Gotcha. Well, Miracle Molly, at first when they announced her, I was like, they're really trying to just milk this punchline cow that they accidentally bottled up, and none of that analogy made sense. I don't know where those words came from. But you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. But I think they keep trying to recreate this lightning in a bottle that they did with Punchline, and the Miracle Molly came out, but she was so advertised that there's the usual 200,000 copies of Batman printed out there for that. But after her origin story in this with the Secret Files, I could see them actually really doing something with this character and developing her. She's interesting for sure, and because I'm starting to think that she's not a villain, I think that gives her that much more potential because we know villains are just whatever. But you bring in a new, I don't know, character for Bruce to take under his wing potentially, and you could have something there. Like, I'm not saying she's the next Robin, but I think that I can already sense some sort of sympathy there, and that doesn't necessarily take place in this issue. But after reading this issue, I could see where Bruce would have that type of sympathy because I mean he sees something in her. Now we know what the hell he sees potentially. So I don't know, man. I think it was actually a pretty badass read. It was definitely a great take on. I remember reading it and going, I see what you're doing here. On how society has outgrown itself. We how we have to just move past the older ways, and that's what the Unsanity Collective essentially is. It can't be just these same people running shit over and over, and we have to change shit. And on a layered level, that's essentially what this issue was kind of getting across. So I don't know, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was microdosing while reading all these, so I caught all types of like layered shit reading these issues this week. But I suggest you do it. Take a cap and read a mushroom legally. Read a mushroom. Read a comic. It's still working. It's not. No, but no, really, I did gain quite a bit from reading Miracle Molly this week. Like it was so much more than this is where she came from. The issue had a lot to say, and it's James Tynion the fourth writing it. So I mean, the guy has skills. We know that. Yeah. I think he's gonna flex super fucking hard before he bows out at DC to be like, look what you're leaving behind, bitches, or look what I'm, packing up and taking with me. I guess DC would probably give their remaining testicle to have him still on. But
yeah, I mean, the Substack movement, this just reminds me of when Image formed in the 90s. Yeah. I get those vibes, man. I'm just like, let's see how this all shakes out, because I think some are going to really stand out more than others.
Oh, 100%, yes. But in the end, I think this is This is OnlyFans all over again. I do. I think they're gonna just use these people, collect their money, and then eventually realize that people aren't gonna sign up for 15 different fucking comic book creators that they were normally buying for at only $4 a month beforehand. So yeah, man. I think Substack's gonna be a giant, huge failure. But in the meantime, I wish all of them the best of luck. I'll never wish poorly to any creator, even if I do think they're making a questionable move. But yeah, I don't know. It's we'll see. I like that analogy though, of kind of like the Image move of the 90s. Yeah, though there's a definite shift for sure. But we'll see how well it works out. Because I don't know, man.
I personally I don't see Substack working out in the long run. There may be some things that work well for Substack. They might get some kind of benefit out of it. And what I'm hoping is that comics get a benefit out of it. Because
unless they get a printing deal going, they're done, man, because comics are based off of print. And but at the same time, if they did get some sort of printing situation going, then they're the next big fucking thing. You get a subscription to the artist you like.
Books are going to be printed. They're all going to be printed, but they're through basically third-party deals with the creators themselves. So Substack has no real benefit in the print side of it.
Yeah, because sorry.
Oh no. Well, I mean, what I was going to say though, what I think is interesting is we've seen the rise of crowdfunding, right? And there's a lot of creators that stick purely to crowdfunding. Why do they stick to crowdfunding? Because they get to retain the rights. Anything that happens to that property is always there. And really, this move to Substack says a lot about creators' rights. And that's where the big push is. That's what the entire message of Image was we want rights to the characters that we're creating. We want to get paid for what we're doing. And I don't even think the creator's argument is that we should get paid everything. But we recently found out, this past week, the Substack contracts are $600,000. I mean, just over $500,000 is enough to. James Tynion chose not to sign up for more Batman because he was getting more money offered by Substack. To find out that Substack was offering $600,000 and that was more money than what DC was offering him to write Batman, that's honestly, I don't blame him. That's kind of disappointing. You're telling me this character generates billions of dollars a year in revenue for this company, and they're giving you less than $600,000 for running the title? It's not about, getting everything, but I think they deserve a little bit fairer share than that. And so I hope that's the effect that the Substack deals have on the industry, is getting creators a little bit better paid than what they have been. Give them a livable wage at least. Come on now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm all for paying creators 100%. It's just, it makes me, how many checks are they going to get, before Substack realizes? I mean, it's because they're going to be paying them based off of subscriptions, people signing up. And if people aren't signing up, then they're going to say, well, fucking never mind. Let's try for 200,000 this year, guys. And then that's when the ship's going to fucking tank. And I don't know, man. I see it working out well at first. Sure, dude, make your $500,000, put it in the fucking bank and do what you got to do. But when it's time to go back to DC, because it's, I don't know, man.
Think okay, if for 600,000, that was, Tynion said that was more than what DC was offering him for a 3-year contract. So we can safely assume that DC was probably offering him 500,000 for a 3-year contract. So I mean, you're looking at basically a little over 150,000 a year for writing Batman and 6 other DC books where you're bound to what the editors tell you. You have to craft their narrative. You have to work under their deadlines and their pressure. And this is a guy that's taking off in the indie industry, where he can retain a lot of his control. And so I think that's really what it comes down to is if you're going to they can make one Batman movie and the profit that they make off of that is hundreds of millions, but all they can break with is $150,000 a year for a writer that lives in New York City, lives in Brooklyn. So, I mean, the cost of living there is pretty high. I imagine that $150,000 isn't, super comfortable to live on. and you're on a contract for DC. So yeah, he's writing Batman, and that's what he's known for. But he's also writing like 5 other books for them.
So I did some math here. Let's just say $500,000 on a 3-year contract. Only writing Batman, that's $6,400 an issue, roughly. That's without any of the other stuff that he's doing. There's crowd Kickstarters out there that are making more than $6,400, and that's not selling 120,000 copies. No, I get it. They're getting fucked. Like, these creators don't get paid. Like, it's really in perspective now as to how little. I've always said you don't get into comics for money, but you leave DC for getting fucking screwed. Jesus Christ! Like, that's it. $6,400 for to write the issue of Batman. That's terrible, man. That's terrible, especially when it's selling that many copies. I don't know. It puts it in perspective. But at the same, I want to see the creators make money. I just fear that Substack's not the thing. It's the thing now, but I don't think it's a long-term thing.
Yeah, I said, I don't think Substack's going to last. I just hope the impact that they're making on how creators get paid adjusts. And I mean, I would love to make $150,000, $160,000 a year. Don't get me wrong. I think they're getting paid pretty decently. It's just the amount of money that they're generating for these companies. It's pretty disproportionate there. And I would like to see that slide a little more. Let's get them up to 200,000 or 250,000 a year. How great would that be? Because at the end of the day, you also have to look at a lot of these creators, like their ultimate goal is to bring small guys up, to bring up these other people. Like a lot of what Tynan wants to do with this money is pay it out to the community, to people that are making comics that aren't getting any recognition. And so, yeah, I would like to see him make $250,000 a year, because that's more money he can pour back into the community,
Yeah. No, that's I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. So I was just doing that math is sickening. That's crazy. Continue. Death of Doctor Strange. I was very intrigued with the concept of this, so I had to make my top 10. Where are we at on this, guys? Like, any aspirations to check this out? Doctor Strange fans at all?
I will be honest. I am not excited about this because I am just going in my head. There is no way this is going to stick around for more than like a year or two. Like, he's got the new movie coming out. He's a top face in the MCU. This has Death of Wolverine written all over it. Now, is he going to get wrapped in an adamantium spell? I don't know. But I just kind of sat there and I was like, okay, unless they're really going to do long term and like have the real next successor, I just think it's going to be a good story. But long term, I think it'll be retcon soon.
I give his death 6 issues after reading this. It's hardly a death.
Yeah.
I mean, an alternate version of him immediately comes back. He's just got a different haircut and he's wearing different colors. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I prepared for this shit. I planned on dying. It's got to be." I mean, it was the thing about this issue though. It was a day in the life of Doctor Strange. Like that's what was kind of cool about it, is it starts out as like, oh yeah, I got surgery to do. And he's going through and he's, I don't know, like I said, it's just a very ordinary dude. And then it's time for like, oh shit, I'm being beckoned. And then the ordinary surgeon dude's got to go do some Sorcerer Supreme shit in the street. And then that leads him to, oh shit, okay, this is taken care of. I have another thing to do. I've got to go teach a lesson at Strange Academy. So he goes to Strange Academy, and that ties in. And then we get this kind of moment with Doyle Dormammu. He was like, "Have you heard about my dad?" So I got the feeling some crazy shit's going on. He was like, "What? There's some crazy shit going on with Dormammu." And then we kind of get a little bit of a hint. Dormammu's voice comes through randomly on some old lady, all creepy like, and it was gnarly. Like, it was there was a few, I had to read the panel over and over. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, that was, granted, there might have been a little bit of mushrooms involved, but still, it was cool how they did it. And then it gets to the point where, while he's teaching this lesson at the same time, he's essentially like setting it up saying there will be another successor, there will be another Sorcerer Supreme. And then I'm not going to say who does the deed, but a little stabby stab action goes down. Down he goes. Everyone's like, oh shit, Sorcerer Supreme's dead. And stabby stab person was like, yeah, no, this is my shit now. And then portal opens up and a different version of Strange is like, oh no, this is what I had planned for the whole time, as the narration of Doctor Strange continues on being dead. So, I mean, the death of Doctor Strange, he's about as dead as Wanda right now. Like, let's put it that way. Like, it's but what it is setting up, though, is a definite potential new Sorcerer Supreme, because they're talking interdimensional and things like that. So there's something to this. I just don't know what they're getting at exactly. But I don't know. It was very Doctor Strangey. That's for sure. There was a couple of points for sure where it got real muddled because they have to get fucking weird. But I mean, I think it was Jed McKay that did that. That's just Jed McKay being Jed McKay. I mean, it's. But I don't know. I think overall, I enjoyed it. I think. But it was, like I said, it was a day in the life of Doctor Strange, and then he dies, and then he doesn't. Like, that's really the best way to wrap it all up. But Dormammu's doing something. Like, they didn't just sneak that in for nothing. Dormammu's coming in here for something big. But yeah,
I think the least exciting aspect of that book and that title is the death, because it's comics, nothing is permanent. So like, even if you're looking past like, oh well, he's not going to stay dead, of course he's not, but at the same time, it's
fucking Doctor Strange.
Nothing is permanent. So even this story is like a death story of Doctor Strange. Like, they'll just retcon it later. So like, there's just like no permanence to death stories. So Marvel especially has been doing these for the last year and a half, where it's always the death of somebody. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, that's not a very attractive storytelling vice in comics, because nothing's permanent,
Right. The more I think about this, the section of this book that stood out the most, the hour in his life, was the Strange Academy. I feel like they focused on a couple of characters specifically. I really feel like what they're getting ready to do is set up something cool with that book, because Strange Academy is really the Strange ongoing right now, and as little Doctor Strange is in it, it's just that's the universe that his title happens to be in. But I feel like I forget her name, but I feel like she is really the one being set up to be something big. And I don't know. I feel, I got a lot of feelings going on right here, that Marvel, the numbers that Strange Academy are getting now, they're not what they hoped. Mm-hmm. They're real big at first, and then now people are like, oh shit, who gives a shit about these kids? I think now that they're going to try to make them relevant. We had to come up with a game plan. We got to do a little mini series here. We're going to do something revolutionary with these characters. We're going to make you want to invest in at least one of them. And I think that's really what it's tying into. Something bigger with Strange Academy.
Point. Yeah, that'd be an interesting way to kind of revitalize the interest in that series, because I didn't read any of it, but people started to really fall off after like issue 6 or something.
Because it's been filler since. Like, there hasn't been anything important really going on. There's been cool stuff.
Like, everybody started dropping off after issue 6, and their main complaint was like they haven't like had any major fights or like anything of real interest happening. Yeah. So
Gorilla Grodd showed up in the last issue, so that gives me some sort of hope that the next issue is going to lead into something kind of cool. But overall, it's been kind of a weird teenage love story that isn't really making a whole lot of sense. But overall, the characters, like, they feel like they're important. So whoever, I forget who it is who's actually, is it Scotty Young writing Strange Academy still?
I think he was, yeah. I'm not sure if he's still there, but I know he was.
Okay, well, whoever's writing it now, they're not really doing justice to the characters, and I think this, like I said, this is Marvel's. Okay, we got to make people into this again, but I don't know. We'll see. No, I agree with I think they're setting something up there, man. I do. I think they're setting something up. I think it'd be a real good one.
They'll
Fantastic.
put together what's it called? A writer's room of like 12 different writers, all just like throwing ideas at a dartboard, and they'll come up with something that appeals to a large demographic.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean all of the potential's there. They just haven't figured it out quite yet.
Yeah.
But
it'll work.
Yeah, when it's time to get on Disney Plus, they'll stack it with somebody and they'll really write something wild for it.
If there's one person that could figure out, what to do with a fucking character, it's Kevin Feige. Like he's characters are fine.
It's gonna be Harry Potter in the MCU. Like that's what it's gonna ultimately come down to, and it'll be great. Like I'm not meaning that in a slight in any way, but that's what it's gonna do, and then fans are gonna be getting into it, and then we go from there.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers is gonna be just fucking mad that they got their fucking the Harry Potters over in Marvel now, and I don't know, man. It's I feel it though. I do feel like there's just a ridiculous amount of potential that's just very slowly being tapped.
Can you imagine Harry Potter just running around Gotham? The crossover is going to happen. You heard it here first. If Strange Academy takes off like that, I guarantee you it's going to happen.
Oh, dude, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
There's no shame in this game anymore. There's no shame whatsoever. Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four 36. Did you guys read the big 300th issue? I think it was, or was it 500 issues? Whatever it was, issue 35. The big,
the big to do. Yeah, I checked it out. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, no,
I wasn't blown away by it. It's just me.
Well, first of all, I mean, fucking. They set us up. Oh yeah, we got this new character Scion, and then bam, there's no Scion. I'm Reed Richards, bitches. Got you, Kangs. I mean, that was. But in the end, they did kind of like still give that for those of like myself that actually speculated on Scion. They're like, yeah, there's no Scion, but Reed Richards has a sister. And I mean, so that was something. So I was really excited going on the 36. I'm like, I want to know all about Reed Richards' sister. She is not mentioned a lick in this issue. Yeah. However, this was a pretty interesting issue. It was a fun issue because we know Johnny Storm, he's all ablaze right now. His cosmic powers are through the roof. He can't die him down. They can't figure out why. This is now Reed is and the whole gang are trying to figure out why. They have this idea. Well, hey, the bond bracelet between him and Sky hasn't melted off in this cosmic fucking nova. Maybe there's something to that. So they call Sky in. Sky comes in. She's all fucking like beef the hell out, super bird-like and shit. And she's like, well, our bond and everything. You're all super beefy and powerful. Now I got all weird and AV, fucking harpy looking and shit. But she's not super stoked with Johnny. So she breaks the bond or whatever, and she goes back to her home planet, and Johnny's still on fire. But the big thing that I got from this was really the last line of the book, and it was that emotional, fuck, Dan Slott, you still have it. When it was things going through saying the boy's been through a bunch today, and he hasn't cried one time. And Reed says, dude, when Johnny Storm is in this state, he can't physically cry. And then, you see that, and he's down in this containment room because he's going to set the fucking world on fire if not. And he's down there just sad as shit, but can't cry. And you get this like, oh, dude, you fucking asshole. Like all of this issue meant something. And I don't know, man. It was a really good issue overall. Like it was kind of a filler issue, but at the same time, this was fucking family. Like this is the Fantastic Four. Like this, everyone playing their part. Like down on the street level, Sue and the kids are extinguishing the city because fucking fire. And I don't know, man. It was, I was impressed. I'm glad that I chose this, and out of the huge bunch of choices that I had to, read this one. At least in the first 10 this week, because it was interesting for sure. But god damn it, I still want to know who the hell Reed Richards' sister is, I'm going to be buying multiple copies of this series now, speculating on, when the hell she's going to randomly pop up until. But that's what the hell Marvel wants. That's I'm their Gump. This is what it is. Just like why I bought 74 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. Because, I guess it was like, finally 51 issues before we realized who Kindred was. Mm-hmm. But fuck. I wouldn't have bought all of those if but that's exactly what they wanted. They're marketing geniuses. That's why they fucking, I don't know. Mickey Mouse
is the ideas.
Yeah. Oh, they got fucking ideas, all right. They know how to make money. But it doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying Fantastic Four regardless of speculative, whatever. This has been a super underappreciated run, I think. I think everyone was sour with how Dan Slott left Spider-Man, so they're like, fuck it, and didn't really kill it with Iron Man all that much. But I think really the Fantastic Four is where Dan Slott belongs. Like, I don't want anybody else writing the Fantastic Four right now. It's just, I think he's doing a really good job growing the family mythos, but still staying within the boundaries without pissing people off. And so I don't know. I mean, if we were pissing people off, people would be talking about Fantastic Four, but nobody's fucking talking about Fantastic Four. So,
yeah. I mean, Fantastic Four is just even keel. Like that's always been the thing about them, and I think you hit the nail right in the head. Slott writes them very well, and he definitely captures their voices. The thing about them is, in this day and age, they're not exactly like the sizzle team. Like, you're not going to have them really moving the needle. Obviously, when the next MCU project comes down, everybody's going to be rocking the Fantastic Four shirts out in every con and you know what. But until then, he's doing a solid run that if they want to go back and borrow from for ideas, it's going to be worth picking up. And that'll be the one worth jumping on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you, man. Are you a Fantastic Four guy, Ryan?
I have never read a Fantastic Four comic.
Really? Huh. I wasn't a Fantastic Four reader either. I wasn't. I was kind of more of a fuck this. People are fucking boring. But then, but there hasn't. Marvel went so long. Because of their kind of fuck you to Sony, or not Sony, Fox, I guess, with their. But finally, when they came out and it was Dan Slott and everything, I pick it up. I think I've read damn near every single issue. Like, it got me into the Fantastic Four, and I like I said, I could care less about them beforehand.
Yeah,
so
I've heard pretty good things about this run and Hickman's run. Apparently,
yeah, Hickman's real good.
Yeah. No, that's definitely something that I'd want to check out for sure.
Even the Mark Winrigo, that one is really good too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right on. In the meantime, I'm perfectly fucking fine with Slott's run. This has been fun. I know it hasn't been as solid. Like it's like Ken said, it's just kind of middle of the road, but you know what to get out of damn near every issue. You're probably not going to be blown away, but you're probably not going to be let down either. That's
the kind of thing I really appreciate, though. Like, I mean, I talk about it all the time. Like, I'm just not into runs and stories where it's like all over the place. It gets really frustrating where it's like, oh, this issue was so good, and then the next one's just like a total letdown. I'd rather something a little more even across the board. Yeah, consistency's tough when you're having to write 2 issues a month. It's asking a lot. Especially for like 64. That brings it down to like $3,200 an issue. Yeah, something like that. He Who Fights with Monsters. You guys, has this been on your guys' radar at all?
I haven't had it on mine.
So I picked it up.
I saw the title on a list before we jumped on here, and I was like, "What is this?" Like,
I
hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, that's it's from Ablaze, little old Ablaze. I picked it up for a couple reasons. First of all, I thought the title. I mean, I'm a sucker for an intriguing title. I was like, all right, cool. And then I saw the speculative community really kind of circling around it, going back and forth, asking, "How are we gonna blow this up?" Like what because there's a shit ton of store exclusives on this, and usually when that happens, there's usually some sort of hype around it. Now, with that being said, I open this up, and this is not in my style at all to have an opinion in this way, but I could not for the life of me get into this fucking book. So, and the only reason I bring this up is for anybody that was playing into the speculative market on this, because this isn't the book this week, people. I mean, I know there's going to be a shit ton of great covers coming out for it. Take it for what you will, but it's like a documentary, but there's nothing really real about it. It's fucking, there's nothing happens. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who the guy that walks with monsters is. I don't, the monsters are the Nazis. I got that much, you know? But I don't know what happens in this book. You know, they got Werther Deledra drawing it, you know, something is killing the children. They have that hype. Fuck, I mean, that's how the guy that draws something is killing the children is at the top of the book.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just, like I said, it's not my style to say, you know, this book wasn't good. But for anybody out there going, well, fuck, do it. What do I do with this book? Because I hear people talking about it. Once it's read, this is You Promised Me Darkness all over again. It's going to be super, super hyped up, crazy, interesting concept. But when you open it up, you just, I don't know. It was just a lot of really boring words. Like it felt like I don't know. Like I could picture the voice behind it, like a World War II history documentary narration. Like it was just old school. I think an old person would love it. I'll give it that. For the 80-year-olds out there, this is your fucking book, people. This is your book. World War II. This is for you. I will always find an audience for a fucking book. I will always find an audience. You want to get put to sleep? This is... I'm kidding. But I had a hard time with this one, guys. I really did. And I just... that was a rough one. And on that note... a lot of hype around this one, too. Frontiersman. Originally, you know, image number one. You roll the dice, it's probably going to be okay. First of all, I will say with this, I didn't know how to read it. The actual layout of this, like I didn't know what panel to go to next because they draw panels into other panels, and normally that would mean that would be the next panel to go to, but then you realize like, fuck, oh, what did I just miss? Oh, I got to go over here and back up here. Like it was confusing as shit, but once I didn't even figure it out. I just had to read every page over and over until I fucking got it right. But getting through all this is, I'll find you an audience. If you're a Greta Thunberg fan, if you're a hyper environmentalist, if you think Captain Planet needs to take it to the next fucking level because he isn't fucking earthy enough, Frontiersman is the book for you. They're trying to build this superhero universe in this, and the concept. I read the Diamonds preview. I was like, this sounds fucking cool. But in the end, it's this reporter guy trying to pitch this guy saying, I need you to be our hero. And he's like, I'm done punching. And he's like, what? No, not like that. I need you to do a different kind of fight. I need you to be our like Smokey the Bear to fight against. It's like, and even he's like, you want me to be your mascot? And he's like, yeah. So even the main character's like, I'm not fucking stoked on this. Yeah. I don't know, like, but I will say one thing: the art in this is fucking fantastic. Like, if you were to just granted, like the layouts make no fucking sense, but if you were to just take each panel for what it is, it's gorgeous. Like, the art is gorgeous. I don't even know if the artist knows what the fuck the story is, though. You know, it's just, it's really all over the place. Like I said, even the character doesn't know what the fuck is going on in this. And I don't think that's on purpose. Like, I really don't. I don't think that's some sort of like self-awareness. You know, I don't know, man. So for those of you speculating on Frontiersman, I don't see this developing into Image Comics' next big superhero universe at all. Because no, dude, just read fucking Captain Planet. Just watch Captain, like this. You'll at least get some fucking action in this. The guy carries around a fucking axe and not a goddamn thing. I don't know. There's crazy character design.
He doesn't axe anything.
No, he talks about how he does. I don't know, man. Even he's like, don't let my big scary entrance fool you. I'm a big fucking pussy, essentially. Like I don't, I don't know, man. It's another miss this week. I wouldn't be talking about this if I didn't pre-designate 10 books. Know that now, streamers. I'm not here to down talk books now. I had to limit myself because you don't want me talking about all these motherfuckers. Well, who has that kind of time? But we're gonna get back on the up and up. I had to get those out of the way because my last 2 books. I want to start with Moon Knight. Moon Knight number 3. It was good. It was. Yes, they introduced Hunter's Moon. Does he kick the shit out of Moon Knight? Yeah. But then Moon Knight fucking makes him his bitch. And he sets him up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to let you live. Like they very much set it up saying like, this is going to be Moon Knight's next big bad. He is the Fist of Khonshu at this point. You know, he's yeah. Hunter's Moon, he's actually trying to recruit Moon Knight back. You're like, hey dude, you're all soft and shit, you're saving vampires, like that's not gonna go down. And they get into the little fight, and he's like, well shit, if you're not gonna join me, then I'm just gonna take out the things that you're soft for, and then you won't have anything to be soft for, and then you'll have no choice. So then Hunter's Moon goes to take out some vampires, seemingly while Moon Knight is down and out. It looks like, oh fuck, he's dead. Looks like these vampire fucking dead. Moon Knight comes in and just essentially rips this motherfucker to shreds. Like, you don't know how badass I am, bitch. Like, it is we get to see what Moon Knight is really about. And I mean, he pummels this motherfucker. Like they play into the violence. This is the most violent thing I've seen in Marvel in a while. Like it is very violent, and they are setting up a big bar for this Moon Knight series that they're getting ready to do. They say it's going to be super violent and all this shit, and for people like me that are reading this series and going to correlate it with them doing a Moon Knight or TV series, my expectations for violence at this point is super high, because if they're going to allow this and this, then there will be blood. I'm thinking like Punisher level, to give you that type of idea of fucking violence. Like it's time. Now, as far as, like I said, speculating on Hunter's Moon, he'll be back, but because of the beating that he takes in this, I don't know. I could see a lot of people shying away from seeing any type of longevity with this character at the same time. But I don't know, man. He's more than anything, it's not necessarily Hunter's Moon that I think is the character. It's Dr. Batter, or Badir, or however the fuck you say his name. The guy behind the cloak. I think he's the one that's going to continue on. I think in the end, issue 1 of Moon Knight is the one to speculate on still, because that's really where the character first appears. But I don't know, man. I thought it was a great read. It was the Moon Knight that I want to see. We got the layers of his character. We got a therapy session with Mr. Knight in the very beginning, questioning, because the vampires are like, fuck, dude, we got these fucking little moon dagger stuck in us. Was that you? I thought we were cool. And he was like, fuck, was that me? So we get that, and that mental instability that we need to have in a Moon Knight series, and it plays very well. Jed McKay's killing it with this character, man. His writing style being as crazy and demented as it is, this is what he needed. Perfect. Finally, the last book, the book that, fucking Last Ronin, people. Last Ronin. I'm not going to get spoilery on this. I think we all know that their death is involved.
Mm-hmm.
Death is involved, and Jesus Christ, every single issue, the way these characters go out, it's more and more just like, fuck. Ben Bishop is the guy essentially drawing all the deaths with these characters, and he is just, I mean, he's killing it, fucking, for lack of better words. He really is. And in this, I mean, we get to see my boy Donnie and Splinter go out in a noble battle, man. I mean, it really is something else. This issue is, I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up in the 5th issue. I mean, the 5th issue's got to be oversized, even more oversized than these already have been, because it's just, fuck. I don't know where to go from here. You know, it's, I mean, there obviously there's somewhere to go, but I don't know where the fuck it is, and that's what has me so intrigued. You know, it's they set up Casey Casey Marie. You know, she gets her heroic moments throughout this. You know, we get some revelations with her about how she's without spoiling too much. We spend a lot of time around a bunch of mutant turtles, then you'd start to develop some mutated genes yourself, and they're passed on through crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff with what they're building in this issue, and it's just art. That's what this issue is, summed up in one word. It's art. I'm so excited for the 5th. You guys been following Last Ronin at all? I mean, how could you not?
Well, I mean, that's the one. Oh, sorry. That's the one thing about this. When they came out with the title, and you knew with the creative team behind it, like, they were going to deliver an epic. And if you're any kind of TMNT fan, you knew this was your book to pick up. Like, no matter what your fandom level was, this has something for everybody. This is the definitive turtle story.
Well, it was 25 years in the making. This story's been written 25 years now.
Right, but that's why I say, like, when they finally got down to putting everything into the book, the expectations were through the roof, and this is why it had to deliver, and it has, by far and away. So when they get done with this, I hope they roll this out into either a movie or animated film. Like, it's worthy of doing this. Yeah.
More than anything for me, the thing that I'm most interested in is to see if it ties into current continuity at some point. I don't want this just to be the last turtle story. Like, I mean, I guess it would make sense, but I'm selfish and I don't want it to be, you know. So I want to see if somehow this ties into. I mean, we've got Lita right now, and she's super interesting. I mean, she's a fucking time traveler, and in this in Turtles, she's like, some shit's going down in the future, and I can't say what it is, and it just feels like it's all gonna come together at some point. If Lita or any of those, not Lita, or fuck, even Jenica. If Jenica shows up in a 5th issue, like, that's my big thing, is where the fuck is Jenica at? Yeah. You know, I mean, Jenica is part of canon. How come she's not being talked about? Like, that's the big reveal that I'm waiting for with this. Like, I don't know. I have so many expectations. What's that?
It's a different canon.
Is it?
Yeah, at least the way it's been explained to me is the IDW run is not in continuity with the Mirage run, and Last Ronin is the end of the Mirage run, so they're separate canons basically.
Okay, all right. Well, that makes sense, I guess. All right.
But I wonder if they're going to do something like Kingdom Come, where originally it wasn't supposed to be part of anything. It was supposed to be its own standalone, but now that's kind of the back end of the DC universe. So I think with the popularity of the book, you might see a shift in that.
I do. Yeah. Well, because Casey Marie, I mean, like, they're developing the shit out of this character, and having a time traveler involved, how could you not bring Casey Marie back to now and continue to use her in the ongoing series? I mean, I feel like they have to tie her in somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with comics. It's just like the DC Black Label line. Like, none of that stuff is in continuity until it's popular enough that they apply it to continuity. So it's really all like, we're just going to stay separate until, like, people like it enough that we feel comfortable with adding it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it does have the
The way that
IDW.
it was explained is that it's like a separate thing right now.
Gotcha. I mean, it does have the IDW sticker on it now, so it's who's to say? Who's to say? But in the meantime, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Delays or not, I mean, it's always they give you so much to gnaw on in between, you know, all these issues. It's these deaths they're not just like, oh, they're dead now. Like, you think about this shit. You know, I got a fucking T-shirt that has the dead Raphael on it. Like, that shit, that's there, man. Like, it's I don't know.
I thought the third issue was a little bit weak, but I mean, that's kind of par for the course being the middle issue and everything. And I think when it's all said and done, like the whole story overall is gonna turn out, you know, worth knowing and remembering.
Yeah.
Plus, hopefully, there's like an awesome hardcover special edition that they drop that like makes it worth having on your coffee table.
Oh yeah, no, this is I think this is gonna go down as one of those staple stories, like the fucking Watchmen or Why the Last Man. Like The Last Ronin is gonna be one that everybody and their mother is gonna have under their head skin at some point in time. Like they need to fucking have this in their brain. You know, it's because it's a goddamn amazing story. It really is just art. I mean, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Shit. That's all I read this week. But I've got my work cut out for the rest of the week. That's for sure, guys. Anything else before we take off?
Yeah, I mean, I read Once and Future this week. I took a shot on that book by Boom Studios, Karen Gillian, and Dan Mora. It was a dope book, very dope. It's the first time I picked it up. I'm definitely intrigued by it. Yeah, I kind of was like really not sure to what I was going to think about because King Arthur, and I was like, okay,
it's been on my pull list for 20 issues. It's just that I stopped reading it after 6, not because it was bad, but because I didn't expect it to go more than 6, and I don't have that kind of room. And I know that it's going to be made into a fucking series, so I'll just fucking do the lazy thing, and just I'll know once it's developed. But in the meantime, I'll have every single issue to cash in on once this happens, because all of the potential is in this series here.
Yeah, it definitely has that vibe. I was very impressed with it. Like I say, I was always meaning to pick it up, and I just never got around to it. And then this week, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And I was really impressed with what I saw with it.
Yeah,
I mean, the action sequence, like it was. I had Game of Thrones vibes from it.
Dan Mora is a monster on the art.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that drew me into this book. Like I give a shit about a King Arthur, but Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora, like that sounds like a fucking dream team.
Yeah,
and it is. I mean, this is a great book. At least the first 6 issues that I read.
Yeah, I gotta go back and like go deep diving in the whole background and get it caught up, because like even like I said, like this issue got me that amped up. I was like, okay, I really gotta check this story out.
Yeah, man. Ryan, anything else this week, dude?
No, I'm pretty excited for Catwoman. That's been a very solid book. It's one of those
tying into Fear State this week too, right?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
I have it right here.
Stuff, so I don't know how much that's going to affect it, but that book has been incredible. Ron V is just an excellent writer. I love his style, so that's probably one of that one and Supergirl are probably top of my list right now.
Yeah, Supergirl. I think something happens in Supergirl this week too. I forget what it was.
I think she finally comes unhinged.
Oh, really?
Which is what they kind of been building up to, but it's supposed to be pretty destructive in this issue.
Right on. And I had the first 3 issues, but then I remembered that I don't read Supergirl, so I dropped it. And I can't just keep buying books that I'm not gonna read. So, but I don't know.
Experience. That's what. That and like it's basically a riff on True Grit, and that's a movie that I grew up with the original. I love the remake as well, and so for me, it's just like homaging something that I love. So
Supergirl relating to True Grit. Okay, you have my interest now. Damn. I never.
Supergirl is Rooster Cogburn.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Shit. Damn. Do I read Supergirl now?
It's
well,
awesome, man.
Gentlemen, it has been a goddamn pleasure talking with you guys. I know that you're on later time zones than myself, so I appreciate all your time. But real quick, remind the people where the hell they could find you, because I've poached you from other amazing shows of yourselves. So thank you. Ryan, you have the Cosmic Campfire. Tell everybody about the Cosmic Campfire, where they can find that.
Yeah, I do YouTube videos and podcasts. You can find that pretty much anywhere you look for podcasts. YouTube, Cosmic Campfire. I've been doing a lot of writing, so follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook. I've been doing a little bit there, and then Instagram. And you can read all my writing and my tips and everything else. So I'm a little bit of everywhere. You can find me. I'm usually under @NewGuy, so NUEXGUY.
Right on, man. I've been loving the little writing tidbits too. Those little nuggets are great. It's awesome. And Moneybags, dude.
Well, if you want to find out everything going on with the ODPH, and I hope you do, swing on over to odphpodcast.com. You can join the conversation on our social media accounts. We got the links right there: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Podchaser. You can always drop a 5-star review. We always do appreciate that. You can also check us out on TikTok, where we are not doing any dances, but I know for a fact when we get down to New York Comic Con, we're going to be kind of doing a little more proactive coverage via that. And our joint Twitch channel with our partners in pod over at 8122 Productions under the hashtag 607 podcast banner. And like I said, podcast is out on anywhere you listen to great podcasts, such as the one you're listening to right now, because you should be following Cheers Comics and Cosmic Campfire. Because if you're not, like, seriously, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I give my endorsement to them, so you should too. And definitely, if you want to holler at us, that's the easiest way to find us. Just type in ODPH on anywhere you listen to podcasts. We pop right up. So drop a file, join the conversation, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure chatting with you, Ken and Ryan. I'm so glad to have you back again this week. I'd like to keep this roundtable going, gentlemen. We'll see what scheduling and time permits next week. But I fucking enjoyed the shit out of talking comics with you guys. And listeners, if you don't know already, you could follow Cheers to Comics for all different content, interviews, and pull list priorities, where I go through and I talk about previews and what the hell's coming out and what you should keep your eye on, particularly if you like to make money, and we all like to make money. So yeah, don't miss the Pull List Priorities episodes. And I talked to some fucking amazing creators in the Creator Corner. I got scolded this week by one. You'll know when the episode comes out. You'll know things you're not allowed to say to certain people, or about certain characters to certain people. You'll just have to stay tuned to find out. The episode will be out in a week or 2 or 3. I don't know. Just have to keep listening to know. But Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff. Follow. We're all on the Apocalypse, baby. We're one big family on the Apocalypse.
Hell yeah.
Apocalypse on Podchaser. It's that list over there, the right, like right at the fucking top. Just all the good ones right there. And then hashtag the Apocalypse. If you're just looking for you want a new podcast to listen to, it's like roulette. You know, it's like, I don't know what to listen to. Somebody pick something for me. Just go into Twitter and type hashtag the Apocalypse, and all of us motherfuckers are using that hashtag. And one of them, you'll just, hey, I want to listen to Cosmic Campfire. I want to listen to Crossover Collision or ODPH or Friday the 13th, or I don't know, pick a fucking type of podcast. We have it on the Apocalypse, and that's all us as a family here working together, people. So check that out for sure. Podcast recommendations, motherfuckers. All right, guys, it's been a hell of a new comic book day. It's so good. I got a lot of books to put away now. Ken, you need to get some goddamn sleep.
No, 'cause when I get home, I'm going to be doing the Apocalypse Spotlight.
Dude, yeah. Fuck, it's Thursday already when you get home.
I know it's going to be Thursday when I get home, and that is the new thing taking over podcasts too. Which I got to say, last week's, oh my god, people got up for that one, which I love seeing too.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, that's, dude, you're always killing it at the Apocalypse. I appreciate everything you do over there, man. I came up with the name, and you just fucking took it and ran with it, and it'd be nothing without all of your work.
It is a team effort because, and I know people always say this is a line, but no, it's the honest to God truth. Brian and I have both been in a lot of pod groups since our illustrious times have started.
and out of a lot of pod groups.
Yes. So we have seen the good, the bad, and the everything
A whole
else.
lot of ugly.
Yeah. So I will say this. A pod group is only as good as its members. And we have some amazing members in the apocalypse because it's not all look at me, look at my podcast. Everybody is in there for the right reasons. Everybody's supporting everybody. It is the place you want to be in if you are a podcast / content creator, because it is by far and away one of, if not the best groups to be in. Now I'm in a few other ones and they're great too. So I'm not trying to say like anything bad about anybody. I want to make that clarify because I know I'm going to
No, there are some good groups out there for sure.
Yes.
I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to sit here and say the apocalypse is the best, even though that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But,
but I will,
I don't want to take away from some of the great stuff that is happening out there.
absolutely. And that's the biggest thing. But I think with us, you get the widest variety of content creators, whether it's sports, whether it's true crime, whether it's video games, whether it's comics, whether it's movies, you name it. We have a member in that group that does fantastic work.
Yeah.
You need to go check out.
Yep.
And seriously, I can't find another group that is like that with that much variety and that much passionate content creators that are in there for the right reason.
Yeah, and variety really is the key word when it comes to the apocalypse, and quality. Those are the two things that you really need to know. Synonymous with the apocalypse: variety and quality.
Facts.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna let you continue on with your lives. I've hijacked your time enough, but god damn, I love being selfish on Wednesdays. I'm gonna go with a smile on my face, guys. Great week for comics. Thank you so much. We'll talk again here real soon, fellas. All right, cheers, fuckers.